Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show where, after the collision, we sift through
the wreckage.
The wreckage. I am your host, Jimmy T. He is my co-host and the best in the world, Jamie the Vet Williams, and you're watching live on Humming Media Group's YouTube channel and, of course, on channelattitude.com after the fact. Vet, welcome back to your show, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's been for me. It's been kind of disappointing week for AEW wrestling, man. It was a drag, a slog, shall I say, for me to even watch this. But hey, they still love 8-man tag teams and 8-women tag teams, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, let's get everybody in one match. Save time.
Gotta stop this shit. And congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Friedman. I don't know if you knew this, but MJF got married to Alicia Toot, or a Tout, however you want to pronounce the name. It's all over the internet. Seems like it was fun, their wedding. So, yeah, congratulations to them. But, Vet, how do you feel about AJ Lee being back? Are you excited? Are you pumped to see the man with her man, I guess, against CM Punk and AJ Lee for WrestlePalooza?
It's a good decision, but I mean, the SmackDown episode, it was like, I have to say, it was kind of, I just had to shake my head and laugh, because it's like they just fast forwarded 10 years. Like, nothing's different. Just get the same music, the same look, acts the same. Like, everything's the same. And, you know, it's nice, but this would have been a decent chance to just kind of like slightly update it a little bit, you know? Like maybe just slightly. It doesn't really fit with the and the way Becky was like overly selling it was a little cartoonish. But yeah. I feel like WWE, when they plan these things, they're really only concerned with the idea. And then once it goes about to the question of like, okay, what are we going to do? Like, how are we actually going to do it? The logistics of doing it, they just fall into like old patterns and tired old stuff. And like, there's no creativity whatsoever in any of it. Like, look at just the way that the crowd was chanting already, because they already know, because everybody knows. But then they have to drag it out for 10 more minutes to act like they're not going to do it. So first, he acknowledges the people saying it. Like, Becky's telling him Becky's not saying her name. She's saying, stop chanting for people or whatever that don't work here. And then he's like, no. You can let them chant AJ Lee. And then he has to proceed to not bring her up for the next 5 minutes while he hems and haws about, I could call my sister. And like, why did you say it? You fucking blew it right there when you said it. Even the best in the world doesn't know how to do this shit anymore. Everybody's a fucking clown. God damn it. Dude, God damn it, dude. I am so tired of everybody being the shits at their fucking job. Like, making billions of dollars and sucking dick.
Man, that's we're off to a hot start, man. Vet is on fire already. I mean, you're right, dude. And you know what else sort of annoyed me?
And the professor, Vet wants AJ music def rebelled. Yeah, sure. Whatever the fuck that means. I don't care who does the fucking music. You're missing the point. You know? Like, the whole thing is, it's just the laziest shit. You just dusted off an old record. Light it up. Like, what does that have to do with her now?
Nice.
What the fuck does that have to do with her in 2025, dude? That was just some generic shit they just handed her. They didn't even give a fuck who she was when they gave her that song. That was generic song number 29, and they just handed it to her back then, and she stuck with it.
Yeah,
it wasn't like Jim Johnston watched her wrestle and then was like, I think I'll compose a song for her. It's not like that. It's fucking everybody sucks. Everybody fucking sucks.
Yeah, no, it sucks. You know what else is weird, dude? They should have actually done a bit of a build to it. They didn't have to rush it. When I say build, right? Like, why rush her like so quick into it? Like, we could have had a few more weeks of this. I know WrestlePalooza is coming up, but did it really have to happen at WrestlePalooza? You know what I mean? But anyway, the point is she's actually signed a full-time contract now, apparently, so she'll be back for the foreseeable future. So good for her, I guess. 39 years old, 40, she's back. I'm sure she looks good in the ring, though. I'll say that. I saw her training with Punk. She's looking good,
as long as she
man,
wears those shorts with those legs, she can do what she wants. But I'm just saying, like, they could have done better by her. You know,
I agree,
So.
but she's back, and yeah, but that was well put, man. That was perfect, dude. I can't even add to that. That was brilliant. In other news, though, Bryan Danielson to join AEW Dynamite commentary team full time, starting from the 10th of the 9th, or sorry, the 9th of the 10th. It's the other way around. AEW Dynamite show. Do you think that's a good idea to have?
Is it going to be a 4-man booth?
That's what I was going to ask you. Is it going to be a 4-man booth or someone's getting the chop?
You could get Excalibur the fuck out of there. I don't think anybody would mind.
Well, exactly what
looks like J12 had the same thought.
Well, imagine that. I doubt they'll ever get rid of Excalibur, but that'd be great. If they
why
did.
do that?
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
He brings a lot more to the table wrestling wise than Bryan Danielson as far as like the expertise. So gotta keep.
I was actually enjoying his commentary, believe it or not. So yeah, but like, good for him, man. I guess he's officially gone at this point. I don't know if he'll ever wrestle again. The news has been pretty lackluster. I mean, there's a lot of shit that you probably wouldn't even care about. To be honest, I don't even care. But Kenny's taking time off, if you didn't know already, after what we saw on Dynamite this past week, obviously getting ridden off television. If the guy is not 100%, just keep him away. Like, you know what I mean? In my opinion. I mean, why even just keep bringing him back just for nothing? He's really doing nothing. He's not really part of any proper storyline, even though he's wrestling, the Dick Riders or whatever the fuck, the Callis team, sorry. I just feel like he's useless right now. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but there's no point of actually having him around if he needs to like take time off all the time due to his condition. Oh, we got a guest, by the way, Vet. That professor's in the house. That professor.
Oh, the professor's here.
He's
what
here.
is going on, Reflection Nights? Oh, I'm sorry, Hustleites. What is going on to the Wreckage-ites out there? And I don't want AJ Lee's music to be Death Rebel only. But you know what? If you can't celebrate nostalgia, if you can't celebrate the crazy cool of AJ Lee, what is with us, man? We can never love what we grew up with. We can never love professional wrestling in that context. Yes, the bookers suck. Yes, Triple H sucks. Yes, Tony Khan sucks. But you know what? Gotta separate yourself, Vet. Gotta separate that. If you separate that, you're going to enjoy it. You were skipping in your house when AJ Lee made her entrance on Friday Night SmackDown. We know this. I got the tapes. I got the proof. But it's okay.
Those tapes are AI. I don't know how you got AI on an analog tape, but you did it.
It works. I mean, it just works. You know that.
It just works.
The skipping's annoying, to be fair. But sorry to take that off you there, to be fair. Off the professor, but man, how do you actually feel about AJ, Prof? Since you're here,
I don't want to go backwards. I want to go with the flow with the show. I don't want Vet to get mad at me for talking about AJ Lee, but it's okay. I'll be 30 seconds, Vet. I'll be 30 seconds. I'll say it quickly. How do I feel about it? You know what? It was the worst kept secret since Clash in Paris. Everybody saw it coming. Everybody knows it's coming. It's today's IWC, guys. That's the truth. We know what's coming even before WWE wants to book it. They could say that they booked this 6 months in advance, but no, they kind of are reactionary bookers. They saw the way that the fans were gravitating towards this, and for the way WWE books in comparison to AEW, guys, at least they're booking for a show. It might not be a 6 month bill, but the 6 months bill is between Punk and Rollins, right? So you add the ingredient of Becky Lynch. So that's Seth Rollins' wife. So what do you do to add to this feud? You add CM Punk's wife. That's it. It's the law of gravity right there. It's just simple mathematics. What do you do after this? One time only tag team match? It's one and done on that end. And AJ Lee, what's she gonna do? Royal Rumble. She might have a match with her idol. Well, who's the one that's idolized AJ Lee? Roxanne Perez, right? So you're gonna have you got that down the road. What else is there for AJ Lee? That's it. So you're gonna ride the nostalgia train. You're gonna ride this one match at WrestlePalooza. Then you move on, and then you got the Royal Rumble. It's easy booking. But today's IWC, they swear they want storylines, guys. No, you don't. You really don't. You just want to be entertained, and you wanted to make it make sense. So on the Wreckage side, the Wreckage. I'm going to use Vet's trademark there. The Wreckage. On the Wreckage side, all-star 8-man tags. That's what we want. IWC, no. We don't have no character storylines. We don't have no build. We just do an 8-man all-star tag. Oh, wait. I'm going to add story to it, guys. Let me add $50,000 to it, too. $50,000. That is storyline. At least on the other side, guys, whether it's 2 weeks, we're 2 weeks to WrestlePalooza, there's a guaranteed right there in the middle storyline between two people, two combustible elements and their wives. So you got a catfight and you got a feud. Whether you like Rollins and Punk, that's neither here nor there. But you got a storyline. That's it. They're telling a story.
I guess somewhat. I mean, yeah, and he's long-term storytelling between obviously Rollins and Punk. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm looking forward to it. Not really, but I guess to somewhat extent. But anyway, that's that. Let's move on. There's really no I'm telling you. Apparently, Brock Lesnar reportedly signed a new contract with WWE. Vet, I mean, anything to really say about that?
Oh, I thought he was going to work for free.
Well, yeah, true. That's the news. I mean, Prof, are you happy about Brock Lesnar?
You forgot the clause. You forgot the little clause in the contract. His daughter's going to be in the performance center. So that's part of the deal. So, in about 5 years, you're going to see his daughter wrecking shop at the performance center, then doing things. She's the next big thing. There you go.
Have you been seeing what she's posting, mind you? God damn it.
Is that AI, Vet? Is those bikini pics AI?
Look, this is basically volunteer work, what I do here. And if I was getting paid, I wouldn't look at those pictures. So I don't even know what pictures he's referring to. So all I know is that when Brock Lesnar...
You see Jimmy laughing. He knows the pictures I'm talking about.
Yeah, I can believe that he would see them. But when Brock finally hangs up the Jimmy John's trunks, he could just give it to her and no one would know the difference.
Jesus Christ.
She can just step right in and people will think, wow, Brock Lesnar de-aged 30 years.
It's so weird. But anyway, John Cena's last match is going to be at MSG, not in Boston, apparently, for his farewell retirement match.
No, it's Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It is Washington, D.C. I was just reading MSG, but they did swap it. November, it's MSG and Boston. But why would they do it in Washington, D.C. for his final match in December?
Because it's going to be huge. It's going to make it look great again. Someone's going to be in the press box. I can't do the voice right because I got a hoarse voice. It's a Tariff Cena showdown. That's what it is.
Oh, boy. Oh, God. Well, yeah, I guess. Does the MCI Center still exist? Or have they moved out of there?
It still exists. It probably is another name. Somebody else bought the name.
You're probably right. That's true.
MCI.
Wasn't it MCI Center or some shit like that?
That was back in the 90s. That was back in the 90s. But
yeah, that's how I remember it.
The sponsorships you got bought out years ago.
Hey, man, I'm old school. Come on now. I don't know what it's called now, but geez. Vet, anything to say about John Cena, as Santana would say?
Yeah, it's weird to not do it's not weird to do a final show in Boston.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's weird to me. Nevertheless, good for him. I guess I think he's one of those guys that will actually stick by what he says and will actually just not wrestle ever again. But we'll see. And then one last piece of news, actually. Ronda Rousey, has been complaining again, guys, for whatever reason, complaining about her time in WWE. I know WWE were pricks to her. I mean, just reading her book, for example. Did you guys realize you read her book, didn't you, Vet? I think, if I remember.
I'm the one who told you to read it.
Right. Do you remember the part in the book where I'll never get this out of my mind. When they came here and they'd done a PLE in Melbourne a few years ago, they put her in the same damn hotel room, for example, as the one she was staying in when she lost to Holly Holm in UFC. That alone is such a rib that WWE would do. They would have known what they were doing. I mean, what's the chances of that? But anyway, she still complains about that, and she's complaining more. And she actually said recently.
So Jimmy, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but you're
yes,
telling me
right.
WWE's travel department put a rib on Ronda Rousey for her stay in Australia?
That's right.
They were so petty to do that.
They actually
the travel department did that. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Kid you not? Well, someone knew what they were doing. Come on, I don't believe in coincidences like that. That's
if you got points, right? If you got to deal with a hotel and you got points, so what?
But the same room though that I mean, come on. She hates Melbourne just for that reason now.
Superstitious. I don't know. But if you got points, you use your points.
I knew when I said that, I'm thinking this woman must hate Melbourne bad. Like it's just bad energy for her. But anyway, she came out and said that she refused to tap out to Becky Lynch. She felt like she didn't want to tap out to Becky Lynch because she's Ronda Rousey. Vet, did she do the right call? I mean, would you, if you were Ronda Rousey, would you tap out to the man?
No.
Okay, interesting. So you think she done the right thing by putting her foot down and saying, "No, I'm not. That don't work for me, brother."
She did the right thing for who she is.
Right.
It's
true.
So I just and no one should have wanted that. You know what I mean? Like that shouldn't have even been on the table. So I don't know why it's it's the same reason why you put her in the same hotel room. It's just like when people stand up for themselves or whatever, God, they hate that. So everything is going to be pushback,
Unfortunately.
And those are those tests, I guess, that you always hear Ben Hameen talk about. I guess she failed those tests because she knows better for what's better for business than they do, apparently. So yeah, no, you don't have that. You also don't, you wouldn't have you wouldn't have, you wouldn't ask Kurt Angle, "Hey, will you let Stone Cold Steve Austin ride you, do like an amateur ride on you?" You know what I mean?
Doing the slaps too on top of that. On
right. He shouldn't say that. He shouldn't say, "Yeah, we can do that." A lot of the stuff that, it takes away from that aura. As much as people found Kurt Angle entertaining, some of the comedy stuff that he did, not all of it, but some of it.
Vet, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Going back to Ronda Rousey, like what you're saying, that for her character and stuff like that, but we're talking about the WrestleMania main event or just something in Australia in general? Because I'm
sure it was the main. She's talking about the main event because I remember. I think they both talked about that. I think Becky talked about that in her book and Ronda talked about it in her book, that match. So
okay. Understanding what you're saying, I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm just saying visually, Becky Lynch's move is the armbar submission.
They're both
Charlotte Flair's
practically.
And Charlotte Flair's has a submission, the figure eight. So that optically, is that wrong for her to even say, "No, that doesn't work for me, sister"? They do submission moves technically. So I'm just saying.
You're right.
I'm not saying that if someone uses the high cross body, like if a wrestler uses the high cross body, like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and then Ronda has to lose to Ricky Steamboat or Regina Steamboat to a submission hold. Yeah, you're right. She should say no. That doesn't make no sense. No ethical sense, no business sense. But you got two girls in that main event that uses submission maneuvers as their finishers. That doesn't make sense.
Not for Ronda Rousey, because Ronda Rousey, the character, should be able to, she shouldn't quit to something like that. I don't think there's a lot of times when I don't agree with tapping out. I don't like babyface tap outs to begin with.
Okay.
Because you're controlling the outcome. So why would you even put him in that situation? Why would you ever make a hero look bad? You know, like if it's real and you could really get her to shoot tap out in the ring, go for it. Mm-hmm. If you want to go into business for yourself and do a Luthez or something and see if you can tap Ronda out, go for it. See how that works out. If you can't do that, don't ask me to do it for fake. You know, that's basically how it works. So, you know, I know it's just two schools of thought. That's mine. Apparently that's hers. So, you know, I guess we're on the same page, me and Ronda, but because I wouldn't have wanted to see that. I wouldn't want to see Ronda tap, especially with, you know, Becky's got a submission hold. She also had the manhandle slam or any other number of things that whatever they tried to do that didn't end up working that looked like shit, you know, like however that went. But like, I understand her point of view is basically what I'm saying.
Okay. Not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, I'm just using it from the fandom's aspect that two women there have submission arsenals in their chamber. So I don't think from a fan standpoint, but on the flip side, it loses the aura of Ronda to tap out to one of them. I understand that part because you want to make money off of Ronda for future bookings. Right.
And the whole thing is like years ago when mixed martial arts started coming into more mainstream consciousness in the early to mid 90s, that was wrestling's opportunity to start thinking about ways to integrate that as far as like their presentation. And they brought in Shamrock later, and he did a lot to like sort of start that, but I don't think it was enough. I mean, if we're keeping up kayfabe to a certain degree, I always felt that it should be a thing where people wouldn't look out of place crossing over, you know? But pro wrestling went in a completely different direction. They went into the lucha libre sort of, you know, like that acrobatic stuff to where that seems like you even got guys like Roman Reigns have to dive out the ring, you know, once in a while, right? Rather than make wrestling a little more grounded and realistic. And then also, and to counter what some people may think is like, oh, that's not as exciting, but you have the larger than life characters to get it over. You know, it's not like anybody in the 80s was doing anything. Like they were just standing around being big, but people loved it. They loved the Hulk Hogans. They loved the Ultimate Warriors. They loved, you know, just looking at those guys. So
on the flip side, when you say Ken Shamrock, look what they picked. You had Ken Shamrock, Dan Severn, boring as hell, even though he was the NWA champion, and then Tank Abbott. And, you know, what he did with a 3 count, which was funny because they had to adapt to the sports entertainment side, but then they couldn't adapt. I think Ken Shamrock kind of adapted more into the pro wrestling side, the entertainment side and stuff like that. So
well, he was a pro wrestler first, if you remember.
Originally. No, I'm just saying, but he adapted to the sports entertainment, quote unquote side.
Yeah, no, definitely.
What sells and what doesn't sell. So he has more lasting power because we can still talk about Ken Shamrock and he's done a lot in pro wrestling.
Absolutely, for sure, no doubt about it.
Yeah, my take is, but it's just me. I'm not laying it down like it's the law, but my take is that sports entertainment should have started.
It should be. I'm sorry. That law should be handed down, written, gospel.
I think it would be best for everybody if that was the case. But even with that being said, I still would just say that I would have rather sports entertainment gravitated more toward the sports and not make the real athletes gravitate towards the entertainment. I just feel like you could have had a separation there, and you still have room because you've got a whole show. You've got weekly shows. You got multiple weekly shows. You got a lot of hours to fill, and you got a large talent roster. You got people that can do some of the things that serious athletes can't do. you know, so, or won't do or don't need to do. So, you know, but people that grew up in the Vince McMahon's WWF era, they all just believe that this is what professional wrestling is supposed to be. Right? So that's why they get mad when Ronda says things, or they say things like it's just wrestling, or, you know, like anytime they don't take anything seriously, as if, and then they want you to pay money though to see these events or whatever. But when you make everything a joke and you make everything trivial, then you make it sort of, when you make something trivial, that means it's unnecessary. So you'll be the first to abandon the thing that you love when, oh, I don't know, like they move to an ESPN app, for example. And then you say, I'm not going to pay $30 to watch this, you know? Whereas if you made it something they couldn't live without, they might consider it, you know?
Well, they did technically try that, but there goes that. You know what I mean? The WWE Network. Just before we move on, guys, I just want to say thank you to Scott Ward for the $1.49 pound super sticker. Thank you very much, man. We really appreciate it.
Thanks,
and yeah, he deserves a round of applause for that one, definitely. Anyway, fellas, I think it's time we can put our gloves on and start sifting, because there's a lot to sift through, and that was the news. So, Vet, I'm going to hand the reins over to you this time. And boy, is there some sifting to do. Put it that way. On my end, there is anyway.
Yeah, this is the kind of sifting where you walk by the accident site and you're like, I'm just going to pretend I didn't see that and just keep going. But
it was a slog.
Yeah,
I went through the clean chamber. I'm good. I'm good and hygienic.
Yeah, so I mean, as I go through this, anybody that's got anything to say about any of this, just raise your hand and let me know, because I'll be happy to move on. Because guess what, guys? We're on Gabe Kidd time to start Dynamite here. That's a good way to get people to turn the channel right off the bat. Put Gabe Kidd on the television. He's like, where's Darby? Oh, guess what? Here's Darby. He's on your back. He's choking you. You guys are brawling. Here comes Wheeler Yuta. They get the tacky skateboard. Here comes Claudio and Mox. The lights go out. Here comes Hook with his lame song. The ops come out. The ops brush past Hook, and Hook's like, huh? My song's still playing, guys. And then the ops come out. Willow Nightingale shows up out of nowhere. Everyone's shit looks weak during this. Like, they're all just like, like no violence whatsoever. It's just a bunch of soft pawing at each other.
Pouring, I like it.
And then at some point during all this, Darby and Gabe made it outside, where Darby grabbed a chloroform rag and put Kid to sleep, and then bagged him up in the body bag and dragged him with the truck. And then when we get back to the announcers for their reaction, everybody's miraculously gone. I guess security came in, cleaned up the situation, told everybody to stop this right now, and go back to the locker room and behave yourselves, so that Excalibur can talk to us.
They didn't give a shit, it felt like, to be fair. I mean, they didn't really say anything. But what I was thinking when he drove off...
But Jimmy, this technically, and this is an unpopular opinion, this proves the point that Darby should have been chasing Moxley. Moxley should have never lost at all in Texas. He should have still been the champion. And then all this would be making much more sense for them to have a match at All Out for the title. 100%. Because this was all meant for Darby to become the champion. Whether he wants, if he doesn't believe in a plastic belt, that's on him. But that's the wrong way to think about that shit. He had an opportunity to finish his story against the Death Riders with all the shit he went through. Went down a bunch of stairs in the Hammerstein Ballroom, went up a mountain, got a Jesus moment, came back and got revenge, and now he needed the fucking belt. That was the way. And they messed it all up. And then you got kidnapping, Gabe Kidd, chloroform, attempted murder, no cops. Tony Khan couldn't spend a little money for some cop uniforms and make it look a little bit legit. That's what I'm just saying.
We've said that a million times, man. It doesn't exist.
How many? So chloroforming a guy and dragging him by the back of a truck. How many Raja Jacksons out of 10?
Well, he was conscious a little bit. You know, he found a way. He got out of the bag, so I'll give it a 5. 5 Rajas.
5 out of 10.
Yeah.
I see. That's a failing grade. If we're going by professors, 5 out of 10 would be a failing grade.
Because Kid will be at All Out somehow, some way during that match at All Out.
Well, I mean, just because he took a nap and got a little gravel in his back doesn't mean he's just out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know this. Like, I would somewhat agree. You know, well, first of all, if you're trying to talk me out of Hangman Page being the champion, say less. No problem. If you want to try to talk me into Darby Allin becoming the champion, you might have to do a little bit more, but it would certainly mean a lot more, like you said, if Mox still had the championship for him to go, you know, after. But even that, I might have just prolonged that a little bit more, and not let Darby have it. Let Darby be always the bridesmaid type of character, you know, like a Sami Zayn or something. I think that works better for him because optically you just don't want, and even Tony knows this. Tony doesn't want a guy smaller than him being his champion.
No,
so
I totally understand that, but I'm just saying, like, Moxley shouldn't have been on TV all this time, hogging up TV time. It just makes the loss even less significant because Hangman, you know, is the champion, all that stuff. You're right. Let's talk about Hangman Page. But Moxley being on TV is like, I lost the belt. So what? I'm still gonna beat up people. I'm still gonna do my thing. Okay, you're doing your thing, but I'm just thinking optically, if he was still the champion, this would make much more sense. This would be much more interesting to a certain degree. Do I want Darby to be the champion? You know, it doesn't bother me, but I understand you. And optically, yeah, he's a shrimp. It just defeats the purpose of your roster the way it looks. That Tony Khan really loves smaller people, and then, you know, not treating the, you know, realistic fans the way they do.
It's probably still going to happen. But I guess for now, we're just going to have to settle for the fact that Darby's just still that mad about the stairs.
Yeah.
Like, that's still pretty good. I mean, it was fucked up what they did to him. So I guess that's enough for him to, I mean, Gabe Kidd wasn't there at the time, but, you know, he could pay for the sins of the father, I guess. It's just, whatever. Let's just move on from this for now. Because we've got to talk about the CEO and Windsor.
I can't stand her now at all.
That was it, huh?
Man. I hate her, man. I hate her. I can't stand Windsor every freaking 2 seconds. Like, settle down, woman. Like, why does she have to scream it every 2 seconds? Like,
she's trying to get it over. So I did. Wow. All right. Now we got a show. So I did like Mercedes NWO gear. It was cute. And the match was, you know, it was a match. The victory roll, sort of. She did kind of a victory roll without the rolling part. She just grabbed her legs like that.
Just no quality vet. Do you know what annoyed me the most about that match too? Did you notice the cameraman was always going towards Windsor's crotch or her backside? The whole friggin' match, it felt like, man. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but that was just weird for me.
You got to keep 472 fans, you know, with the ratings watching something. So they watched the ass.
She's not that.
Yeah, they got Mercedes crotch a little bit too. So, you know.
Yeah, but they were screaming Windsor most of the time doing this, man. I'm telling you, it was weird.
Yeah.
But
so anyway,
that crash anyway, just quietly. But anyway,
Mercedes gets the win. No sportsmanship. So because she won't shake hands, Windsor attacks, but the attack gets reversed. Mercedes just beats her up some more until all of a sudden, out of nowhere, making her, is this her 2300 arena debut? Riho comes in to make the save. She's hardcore. Riho's back.
Maybe in bed, but not in the 2300 arena.
Hey-o.
Well, I don't even know about that even at this point. But why? So she's number one contender now, we assume, Vet? Is that how it goes?
Of course.
So that's how you become number one contender now.
She got the match.
Disappear.
She got the match. They made
it
official.
Just jump up on the top rope and jump on somebody, and you can be the number one contender.
It's a travesty, Vet, and please, I mean, help me out here. It's a travesty the way Tony Khan's booking right now. I mean, he is giving everything to Mercedes Moné. Everything. He wants her to probably break Jay Cargill's record. So even with All Out, she still has a couple more days to kind of like eclipse that record. But every match that she does, nobody expects her to lose, right, Vet? So the problem I see here is no matter what happens, you're not even building up the supposedly stacked AEW women's roster to give me believability that they can actually defeat Mercedes Moné. And even the way she fights, Mercedes doesn't fight as a cowardly heel. She doesn't cheat, really. I'm being honest here. This is not even a joke. Wreckage, please correct me if I'm wrong. Every match that she's ever done, even the match against Alex Windsor, she didn't really cheat. She won fair and square. She's wrestling like a babyface, but supposedly her character is supposed to be annoying. I get that part. But Vet, with a supposed stacked women's roster and what Tony Khan has been doing for Mercedes for the last year, because we know this is to cater to her ego. You know, she felt wronged or she felt cheated that she wasn't in the same context with Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair in terms of stature and legacy. So he's doing all this for her. But I'm just saying on the business wise, if you supposedly had a stacked women's roster to me with no direction, how do you correct that error?
Only Tony knows. Because whatever he's going to do, he already knows it. The problem is he knows point A to point B and point B to point C and point C to point D, but that doesn't mean that those areas in between are going to be good for us to watch.
Okay.
You know, he's got the bullet points just like you would hand somebody with a promo. Like he knows what he wants. So if he knows what he may already know who eventually he wants to take the TBS belt, but we may not know that for a while and it may not become obvious to us. And he doesn't like, you know, WWE is booking for these pops, right? Like Vince Russo says, booking for the pops, right? So you do a pop here, pop there. That's all you think about. You don't think about what you actually do. You don't think about the logistics of what you're going to put on the show. You just know, oh, so-and-so's coming back. So that's going to be big. And that's going to get us, you know, views and numbers on social media and other platforms, right? So Tony doesn't know, or he does, or Tony probably knows, but we don't know. Now let's talk about Mercedes. Yeah, she won this match with a wrestling move, like I said. So there's really, and there's no cheating, which is, you're right about that. She's a little dirty, but not cheating. She doesn't win with cheating, you know? So I'm not sure whose call that is. I don't know if this is something that she's trying to, I don't know, stay clean because she wants to eventually turn it around, you know, babyface it up and down the road.
I mean, with all those belts, you know, 8 or 9 belts Moné, and then probably is going to find another Tony Khan influence promotion to take another belt to be 10 belts Moné and all that stuff. We get that. But she has never, the way she's been fighting on AEW television and pay-per-views, it's been what you said. She doesn't cheat. Yeah, she goes a little dirty here and there, but she's never hooked the trunks. She doesn't like use the ropes. She's fought like a babyface. Just the optics is weird.
So, yeah, I don't really know what the deal is there, but I mean, what can I do? I mean, I'm not there to tell anybody, and they wouldn't listen anyway. So,
I know you want to move on to the next segment. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I don't want to, but we should. Renee is with the ops, and she's like, well, where does Hook stand with you guys? And, you know, Hook comes in, and Joe's like, ask him yourself. And then Hook starts yapping, and then Samoa Joe starts yapping. And after all that yapping, we still don't know where Hook stands with him because You know, this is.
I get it, Wreckagites. This is the breadcrumbs. This is the Easter egg. So this way, just like Vet says, Tony's got a plan for this. This is point A to point B. This is what you talk about. Proof positive. Hook and Joe looking at each other. Hook feels cheated, slighted, like, oh, I've been kicked out of the. Joe didn't even say he yay or nay. I can neither confirm nor deny that you're out of the ops. So that's the intriguing part. So whereas the payoff, I guess it's gonna have to be Hook against Joe 3 or something like that. Very soon. Right.
Well, yeah, he could. He did say, "Oh, the ops is only a 3-man group. Sorry, like we can't have another member." So yeah, I don't know. It's silly. I don't know who's really buying it. Let's see. Rick OA challenge. No. They don't challenge. They demand that the Hurt Syndicate face them at All In. So please look forward to that.
Story, right? Rick OA. Jesus Christ, that's not even a good name. Is that their real name?
Or no, that's just the one I threw out there.
Thank God. Well, you know what? If I hear it, they listen to this show, and you should get all credit for that.
I didn't get credit for which one was the one that I invented? I forget. Brodito. Yeah, I definitely came up with that before they started using it. So yeah, I mean, well, in all fairness, this is a good promo from Ricochet, but who's watching? If a tree falls in the forest? Briscoe comes out. He says, he's got a question. He's got to ask Don Callis, who's it going to be? Which one of your flunkies am I going to have to face? And Don Callis comes out with something important to say. He says it's going to be Takeshita on Collision. And then he gets in the ring. Takeshita gets in the ring, stands in front of Mark Briscoe. They look at each other, and then Takeshita gets out of the ring.
Now this is really Wreckage Ice. Help me out here, because again, out of all your flunkies in the Don Callis family, we know the flunkies. I'm going to say you got Lance Archer, you got Josh Alexander, got all that stuff. You choose your G1 Climax winner, who's conceivably can become the next IWGP Heavyweight Champion, to thwart Mark Briscoe's task to become the TNT Champion. Doesn't make sense. Why waste that to the guy that you're elevating even more for something that everybody even says they want to see with Takeshita against Okada? And you pick one of your gold standards. Doesn't make sense. Only Tony knows.
Because you got a Collision main event out of it is what you got. So I'm going to say this for that. Like, the fact that less people probably watch Collision each week than ever before. At the very least, at best, it's fluctuating. What I understand that you're supposed to give them something to watch. So like it's not like they're not trying. A lot of times a Collision main event is an all-star 8-man tag. So like I get that. And if Tony just says, I want to see what happens if I put Takeshita in the ring with Mark Briscoe, which I'm not even sure we haven't seen that already, because there was Continental Classics and all kinds of stuff with people having matches. So I don't even know. But if he's just saying like, that's a match I want to see, where can I put it? I don't know his process. Does he put all the matches on the yarn board first and then plug them into spots on TV?
Or maybe it's that dart philosophy. I'm going to throw a dart. I got this roster here. Mark Briscoe against who? Boom. And it just landed on Takeshita. I'm just saying it just doesn't make sense. I mean, like I said, you got Lance Archer, you got Josh Alexander, you got Rocky Romero. Again, to continue a storyline, to go through a path to get to Kyle Fletcher.
Right.
It should not be your G1 Climax winner. It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make business sense.
No, but like I said, business, what's that? and furthermore, like to the point of at least the match is in doubt here, because if you put Rocky Romero, first of all, no one's going to watch till the end.
I don't,
because you already told them And then, secondly, you already know who's going to win. So in some ways, I understand it. But speaking of Rocky, Mark, after Takeshita just leaves the face-to-face gently and quietly, Rocky Romero takes off his, Mark Briscoe still wants a fight. He's not satisfied with just staring at a man for 5 seconds and then him leaving. He wants a fight. He came for a fight. So Rocky Romero starts taking off his chalk line Three Amigos jacket. And then the next thing you know, Lance Archer's getting in the ring.
That wasn't Three Amigos. That was the El Guapo jacket. That's what it was.
Well, 6 of 1. So it's Archer versus Briscoe now. And you know what that means, Jimmy? If you got Mark Briscoe going for the TNT title and it's Lance Archer, yes, a strong win.
I thought of you right away. As I was watching that match, I just thought of you straight away, and your words were echoing in my head right then and there. I'm like, God damn it, how obvious is this damn company with the way they do shit? Like, I just
strong win. It's so strong. After he beat Lance Archer convincingly, I was sure that he had a chance against Takeshita on, Saturday, as of last night. I thought, wow. I thought Mark Briscoe was a bum, but since he beat Lance Archer, he got a strong win. So now he's primed and ready to be the number one contender.
That's probably Mark Briscoe's undercover title. It's not valid. It's the AEW Strong Win Championship. Tony Khan is going to make a belt just for Mark Briscoe, the Strong Win Championship.
It would make sense too. That's what's funny for this company. It absolutely worked. But before we continue, though,
we got New Japan Strong. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yes. No, I just wanted to acknowledge Jerome Hall for the $4.99 super sticker. Thank you once again, Jerome. We appreciate it. That's thanks again also to Scott, man. Thank you, boys. And back to the Super Strong Win title. They need to do it. They really need to do it. It would make so much sense. If any belt would make sense, it is definitely that one.
Yeah. Yeah, WWE has surpassed them in belts, I think. So now they need to start playing catch up again.
Definitely.
Well, speaking of belts, Timeless Tony Storm does a promo here. I don't remember a word she said. Yeah. Then Renee is with Camstat, and Yuta delivers a message to Statlander. He says, "Hey, I'm just the messenger, but
like Mr.
Somebody wanted me to tell you this." Like, yeah, who? I wonder who wanted you to say. But the Death Riders have your back. Yeah. The Death Riders have your back. So, a little something for Stat to think about. And then he's like, "Sorry, I gotta go. I gotta wrestle now." But so Claudio and Yuta go out there to take on Brodito.
Oh my God, bro.
This eats up some TV time. Mox and Darby do some shenanigans, out here, and Yuta gets the 21 plex. So
there's only one thing that fucking made me laugh and roll my eyes at the same time in this match. When they do their little freaking handshake deal between Brody and Bandito, he started doing the Macarena. And then Brody looks at him. He's like, "Nah, bro, what are you doing? Nah, man, don't do that shit ever again." He just started doing it. Doom, 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 doom. And I'm like, okay.
He's trying to.
These guys be on the same page.
He's trying to get Brody a little bit of character and charisma.
That was bad, though, dude. That was. I popped when Brody just looked at him like, "Nah," you know what I mean? It's like, "Nah, dude, do not ever do that again."
Wait till they have matching Three Amigos gear. So, it's just inevitable.
Yes, Jesus, that's right. Christ. The two Amigos. Yeah. I love it. Man. Or maybe a Brodito can, put the Malcolm X on his Bandito can wear it on his mask,
Malcolm XX.
Yeah. Yeah, you know how Brody King likes Malcolm X.
Of course.
Oh
man.
So yeah, all right. Renee is with Okada. She's like, "Isn't there tension between you and the other Japanese guy?" And he's like, "The Rainmaker is the top dog, bitch." So
that was good.
Yeah, we cleared that up. Then Renee is with the Hurt Syndicate.
They hurt
MVP
people.
in a long-winded way accepts the challenge. I like the promo he said, but I'm not going to recount it here. So they're going to face each other at All Out. FTR fights CNC Music Factory.
The CNC Music Factory.
Yeah, and there's a pull apart. Well, Cope and Christian. That's right. They're gonna make you sweat, all right. They every time Edge gets to the ring, it makes me sweat because I'm like, what is he gonna ruin now?
Oh man,
that was a great segment, Vet. I'm not trying to be biased towards FTR. It's got nothing to do with my background or nothing. But I'm just saying, like, this is the reason why that arena has sold out. Why All Out is almost sold out. It's because of FTR and CNC Music Factory right now. We all know this. No other match matters.
Yes, that's right. We're gonna bring in the house because these guys are gonna reunite for their second match to take on FTR. You want to talk about wasting an IWG? You want to talk about wasting a G1 winner in a match? These guys had to fucking touch Kip Sabian. You kidding me?
What an insult! What an insult, right?
I mean, seriously.
All right.
Well,
but there was a pull apart, which that is actually important because for once ever, there was a pull apart. So I don't know how many Rajas out of 10 you want to give this fight, but after
eight Rajas, I'm gonna be fair, 8 Rajas.
8 Rajas. Okay, so and some of those Rajas came from Adam Priest, who went into business for himself in this. Mm-hmm. So after the pull apart, we go backstage and FTR is browbeating this job guy, Adam Priest, about like, oh, you want to punch me like in this pull apart or whatever. So, more on that later.
When I saw that dude, right? I don't know who he was. I've never seen him in my life, but I thought of the guy that we will talk about a little bit later, right on the spot. He reminded me of him. And then looky here, he makes an appearance. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get there.
I don't know if they made it clear who he was at this point in time.
No, they didn't.
I just had in my notes, maybe this is Adam Priest because I had just recently seen Adam Priest.
Oh, no, they did mention his name. They did just once in passing.
So, anyway, look, who cares about everything else? Because the main event is the most important match of the night. It's the last match everybody's going to see. It's how everybody's going to remember this show. And of course, that means we got to have an all-star 8-man. So it's the Bucks.
The same match last week, by the way. Before we continue, wasn't it the exact same match?
Yeah, probably. The Bucks, Josh Alexander, and Kyle Fletcher versus JetSpeed, Kenny Omega for some reason, and Hang Person Adam Page.
Mm-hmm.
And all we're missing is a $450,000 cash grab for this.
Right. That'd be a little light for these guys. I mean, come on. This is your AEW champions in this.
I'll say one thing, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm going to give praise to the Bucks. I actually felt like they were pretty much them and Fletcher pretty much were carrying this whole match, man. They were pretty much doing everything. But they were in sync though, man. Them two were really in tune with each other. I know they always are, they're brothers. But they actually looked good at what they were doing, you know what I mean? Even though I hated this match anyway. But props to the Bucks. I never give them praise, but I will now.
Do you share any of these sentiments, Professor? Were the Bucks actually good?
Well,
because I wasn't watching. I'm not going to lie to you. Fuck this. I ain't watching this. You kidding me?
Usually I wouldn't have either, but
I guess the only props I'll give them because their matches is what it is. But I think before that, what was it? That segment they had, guys, that they were supposed to do a meet and greet, and they kind of shortchanged the Bucks. That was only like what $20 charges. So that was kind of like a funny bit right there. So they keep going with that.
And they came out to their normal theme for once. No fucking around with their theme song this time. No hands and no nothing. But anyway, who cares? The point is, they won the match. Their team won.
Jimmy, it gets to a point that will get a little bit idiotic and stupid because again, there's no, what?
Yeah,
The,
but
the
where are
Bucks
they going to go
against,
from here, though?
right? That's
Like,
the
how do
problem.
they get out of this?
Unless you get a production crew that looks like Adam Priest. If you got like 10 Adam Priests behind the scenes, that could be the production crew, and then you have a fight with the Bucks at a pay-per-view, fine, but you don't have that. It just is ridiculous. So just kind of like fade away with that, do a little bit here and there, but just keep it in the ring, and then let the Bucks challenge for the tag titles in the near future.
I just feel like, where do you go with them? How do they snap out of this eventually? You know what I mean? How are they going to do it? They just drop it with no explanation, I guess, right? That's the AEW way.
Bucks against Brodito is money, I guess. That's what they'll say. Plan A to B. That's what Tony's going to throw in the darts.
As long as we get the Macarena in the middle of a match, I'm fine with it.
Go for it.
Yeah, I thought the whole reason they were doing this is so that they, could like step back and not work as much. And it seems like I'm seeing them more than ever.
I was just going to say, we're seeing him flat stick, man. What do you mean these guys trying to take a backseat? My ass.
Maybe it's because injuries. The injuries is kind of like playing a part with the Bucks having to work a little bit extra. No swerve.
Well, that's on them. It's the way they all freaking work. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
that's very true. That's very true on that.
So
it is what it is.
So Kyle Fletcher beats Kevin Knight with a brainbuster. Okay, that's his move. Then he, afterwards, of course, they got to get some more heat. So they give a brainbuster. He gives a brainbuster to Kenny through a table and cuts himself up in the process.
He got cut up,
that wasn't a working table. Well, it kind of was, but the table went into business for itself too.
He went through the table first, though, to be, like again quoting the professor. To be fair.
Yeah,
I give 9 Rajas for that table spot.
Me too.
Yeah, where were the police? Where was everybody? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing a move that's supposed to break somebody's neck, I'm glad Kyle Fletcher did take the brunt of it because,
right,
he's responsible for a lot of people's injuries. So
it's true.
But yeah, so I guess Kenny's got to go away now. Is that basically what you're saying?
That's what they were saying in the news. He's been written off now for a while. I do know he's diverticulitis, however you pronounce it. I know I botched it. He's having major issues with it, man. And if you look at him, I know he's trying his hardest. You can tell, right? But he looks friggin' thrashed right now, man. Like, he really does. He doesn't look like himself.
Health-wise, he's just got to work with it. When you work, when you have diverticulitis, you got to work around that. You got to, take a little time off here and there. You cannot just go week to week with that.
No, you can't.
Risk yourself like that. So as long as it makes business sense, you write them off for a couple of weeks, and then of course down the road, maybe a World's End, you have your payoff match between Fletcher and maybe Omega. It works that way too.
I don't think you can even put him in a real storyline right now anymore with his condition. I think he's just there to be part of a story, but not as the main guy. You know what I mean? Just a side sort of piece. And that's all you can really do with him at the moment, unfortunately for him.
Hey, that roster's stacked and deep. Remember that. Tony said that.
It's deep, all right.
Yeah, way better than 5 years ago, especially the women. So it's collision time. Yeah. It's collision time. And Jon Moxley is going to take on Daniel Garcia in your opener.
What a match.
A main event anywhere in the world, but we've got such a packed show. We got to kick it off with this one. This,
But at least there's a backstory for Daniel Garcia. The frustration, you can see that's acting right there. That's acting class, guys. When you train for the emotion, he wants to cry too. He wants to cry with that loss.
What about the backstory
performance?
What about the backstory of all the matches he won before he started losing that he didn't deserve to win? He's not grateful for that.
Well, that shows the entitlement.
Run.
That shows the young guy entitlement problem. That's the Gen Z
wait a second, Vet. Good is not good enough.
That's true.
Yeah,
he says that. He says that. And during this match, Marina Shafir actually helped Daniel Garcia to his feet one time. That was very nice of her. She doesn't usually do things like that.
She's a nice woman, Vet.
But again, I can understand how Daniel Garcia would be upset and disgusted with himself because he lost because he went for a roll up and John Moxley reversed it. So again, you got
Same thing.
you know, like you want to talk about, forget that promo you were talking about Mercedes winning with wrestling earlier. This fucking guy, the plastic bag guy is winning with wrestling moves, small packages, this roll up reversal on a guy that's only known for wrestling. Wow. And he's not even that good at it, but that's just what his character claims that he's good at. So that's just that's his gimmick is wrestling. And then this, Fireman Fred beats him. So Shivani tries to get a word with Daniel Garcia, and that's when he says, good's not good enough. And then Fatty Magic tries to hey, come on. And then he's like, don't touch me. Which he always should have, in fairness, but he just now decided.
If anybody can teach Daniel Garcia a lesson, it's Fatty Magic. We know
Fatty Magic,
and that's a collision main event you want to see.
Oh, what
ratings! That's ratings right there.
Ratings, absolute ratings.
Speaking of fat and ratings, the Learning Tree cuts a promo. Big Bill, he's like, hey. I know a fat guy that I can call out that can get ratings, and he's from New York. Eddie Kingston.
Oh, fucking hell. I was about to run away when I heard that. Not going to lie. I don't care, man, for Kingston coming back. I really don't. Good for him. But he's just going to make this show even worse.
I mean, if you want to cut a promo about somebody... No.
Money is a promo, definitely.
No. I'm just saying, if you want to cut a promo and call out a guy from New York City... Would have been nice if you did the collision in New York City.
Right.
So you get a pop. I'm just saying, because, for the Wreckagites out there, history shows you Philly and New York, we don't like each other. 2300 doesn't like New York, vice versa. So why would anybody in the 2300 arena care? Yes, I am the Puerto Rican homeless center. No, but
not you.
Oh,
Eddie Kingston. But to be fair, he's half Irish, Frank, just like you.
But I'm just saying, with the history of Philly and New York back and forth, were we going to get a bigger pop for Eddie Kingston in the 2300 arena? Well, nostalgic-wise, maybe for other wrestling organizations. Not the same crowd. It's not the same crowd. It's not the same feeling. I mean, CZW was there. ROH was in that building and all that stuff. We get that. MLW's been there, but it's not it's Philly and New York, and Philly doesn't like New York, so it doesn't matter. That's why you got a whimper of, whoa! And you just didn't get the kind of pop that you needed. I mean, Tony Schiavone was louder with the pop than the Philly crowd. That's how bad it was.
I know there was no pop, dude. There was no reaction. It was just like,
what a perfect transition. Exactly. No pop. Anyways, FTR.
What? Wait, it was louder. It was louder for them.
Well, then certainly Adam Priest and Tommy Billington. Then you have to say they fit the no pop bill. Then
there you go.
Oh my God, dude, what? Why am I watching this? I mean, I know why, but I don't know why. Like, I know why they're telling me I'm watching it, but why did you want to make me watch it? Is my question. So, I wouldn't do my due diligence, if I didn't at least catch one tag team flub from the greatest tag team in the world here. So I always love the spot.
What did Adam Priest and what's his name?
Tommy what did they do? What did they do wrong? They signed on the dotted line is what they did wrong. I love this. And FTR does this sometimes. Other bad tag teams do it that are worse than them, but they do it too. It's just one of these things that's become, emblematic of the way people are like trying to do things and they don't even understand why they're doing it. Like, so for example, Axon is on the apron, he's not the legal man, and Cash shit cans Adam Priest or I don't remember which one of these two cheese sandwiches it was, but he throws one of the cheese sandwiches out on the floor and Cash tags Axe. Okay. So now Axe is the legal man. So now Axe jumps down outside and starts beating up the guy.
Why?
Why tag if you're going outside? You should have just jumped down.
They followed the tag team rules.
But that's not the rules. The rules would be, hey, I'm going to get some heat while my partner stays in the ring and doesn't get counted out, right? And then he can distract the referee like, hey, come over here, my boot's untied. Can you help me? Like, my back hurts. and then while the referee is over there with Cash, Dax is getting heat because he's cheating. He's involved himself with the legal man when he's not legal, and he's kicking the shit out of him on the outside. Instead of that, he makes himself legal and doesn't even step in the ring, gets down there, and then starts doing whatever. But the guy, like, you know, it doesn't even last long anyway. So there was no point of any of this, which is just my gripe, you know, the whole way through. It's like, guys do stuff. They don't know why they're doing it. They're just doing it. If they're lucky, they're copying something they seen and they accidentally do it right. Like, because the people originally in the 80s did it right.
Right.
But
that's true.
That's the kind of stuff we could get. But anyways, they hit the power and glory on Priest. And then Stokely gets in the ring. And then he's like, you know, hey, CSC Music Factory, it's the end for you. Or whatever he says. He doesn't even say any funny Stokely stuff this time. He just says a regular... Well, he says, hey, guys, don't leave. Because I want you to hear this. Yeah, he's like, and then they just sit there, and then he just says, "Hey, you see what's going to happen to you?" And I'm like, "What's going to happen to CNC? These guys are conscious, and they seem like they can walk out under their own power. What are we doing here?"
Just remember, every week for Stokely, he's balder and still got no hose, so it's eating at him right now, internally. So he can't be funny.
And he's getting a little chubbier too every week, it feels like. Around the waist.
Well,
I mean, shit. But he's the man. I'm sorry, but he entertains me the most out of this FTR group, if you want to call it FTR with Stoke. But, you know, he's the most entertaining thing.
No, definitely. And
wow.
that's the sad part. It's like you got the entertaining guy. He didn't even say anything entertaining, and what he said didn't make sense. And what they did make sense.
What he said on Dynamite too, get this bitch ass out of here to Priest, made me laugh.
That was more Stokely on that episode.
Absolutely.
Maybe Collision just doesn't bring the best out of FTR. That's
probably true.
It's the second show. It's the second.
Too much colliding going on over there on the Saturday night. You know what I mean?
It's probably too. Yeah, we don't do this on Saturday nights. No real glass here.
No.
But even though there's no real glass, Mox will put Darby in the ground at All Out. So we're back to murder. No more small packages. No more small packages. If in this match at All Out, I'm just going to say this right now. And I promise you this. If Jon Moxley in this match with Darby Allin, whatever match this ends up being, you know, it's probably like a coffin match or some excuse where they can just do whatever they want, right? If there are falls in this match and Jon Moxley attempts to pin Darby Allin at any point in this match with like a schoolboy, anything like that, Professor, you are officially the new co-host of this show because I'm not doing it anymore. So you're gonna have to make some room in your schedule on Sundays.
You know what's bad about that?
I come in like Bryan Danielson. I'll just bring in I'll inject a little bit of emotion here for the Wreckage ice out there.
You know what's bad about that? There's a good chance that might actually happen. That's what's bad about that. What he's saying. So I hope you're dead wrong, Ben.
Isn't that his finishing number? Wait a minute, but that's not fair. That's Jon Moxley's finishing, no matter what. The schoolboy,
the small package.
Yeah, it is.
He stole it. He stole it from Tony Storm.
Wait, I just went on Wikipedia. I went on Wikipedia. What is Jon Moxley's finishing maneuver?
Dude,
small package.
Don't tell me that. No way.
Well, then I guess Darby better go over then. I guess that's all. So here we get the All-Star 8-woman tag team match with, for some reason, everyone else is banned from ringside. Just so this is a Continental Classic All-Star 8 women's match. Okay. It's the triangle, the dark triangle. You want to say it, Jimmy? Just to...
Whoops. Wrong thing. Yeah. The dark triangle. Give me a moment.
The dark triangle fatality.
Yeah. and Megan Bain
Oh yeah.
versus Camstat, which is my name for them.
Camstat.
But the announcers were saying Harley Chris. Like, how dumb does that
Yuck.
sound? Like, they're actually
That's
saying that on
stupid.
television, right?
Wow.
And okay, so it's Camstat and Mina Storm. That's the other side of this match.
Sure.
So we got an awesome match going on here. It's so good. I won't even try to attempt to do its goodness justice with my words. I'll
Don't
just
even
say
look at
that
me.
Wheeler Yuta, before the match, comes up and says pss, 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 pss to Statlander.
Like a
And much, much later after that, she ends up beating Dark Julia. Yeah, with the seatbelt, which is Wheeler Yuta's move. So I guess he said, "Hey, use the seatbelt," and she did.
too much whispering going on in this company. What's up with that?
A lot of secrets.
A lot of dirty secrets.
Is that the story, Vet? That's the story. Use my
Yeah, that's
move.
the story. for
Whisper,
sure.
use my move, and you'll get over. Wow, that's new.
I'm only going off what I saw. You know, like I'm putting two and two together. I saw a whisper. I saw Wheeler Yuta's finisher get used. I'm thinking he advised her that, hey, seatbelt's a good finisher.
And it proves the point, Wreckagites. The supposed deep stacked, better than WWE and TNA's women's roster, which has, to me, no direction, no thought process. You can't even, Camstat is not even being used by the commentating team. That's number one. And number two, Dark Julia. I mean, again, she was a TBS champion and she's eating the pins. Megan Bain, what the fuck? The statuesque Megan Bain is in this folly of an eight women all-star tag team match. Toni Storm, the champion, guys.
Ugh, I'm getting sick
It's
of it, man.
supposed to be, defending the title. You're supposed to be feeding her some contenders, some top contenders. You don't need her on TV. Feed her, write some storylines like a fatal four-way or something to get a new number one contender. Get some momentum for the next challenger. But no, you got to do it the opposite way. You got to have Toni Storm cut a promo like, I need some bitches with some titties in my faces to get me at All Out. That's not the way you do it, Tony. It's an insult that he has my name. Tony Khan, you're insulting with my name. It's not fair. It's just not fair.
Hey, keep it kayfabe, prof. Come on now.
I would just like to say that Megan Bain again in this match got her ass handed to her by Harley Cameron. This is a rib at some point, like that is just ongoing. But I pointed it out last week. It's like she's always, no matter what, when you see Megan is not involved in the finish of the match itself, the reason why is because Harley Cameron just kicked her ass long enough for her to be out of commission for that 3 seconds or whatever. So it's kind of funny because she just dominates everybody else. But for some reason, the joke wrestler like gets over on her every time with offense. And she posted Megan Bain here, like post in the face or whatever. And after that, like after the seatbelt, the heels get their heat back. They use the heat back move. It's got a very high success rate.
Yeah.
And
No hot tag, no heel hot tags this time.
not this time. No. That's another Megan Bain first. But yeah, so Harley Cameron kicks her ass a little bit, and then as soon as the match is over, Megan Bain wakes up, goes in there, they all beat up the baby faces. Jamie Hayter comes out to help, and everybody scatters, and then Toni Storm gets on the mic and books herself a fatal four-way for All Out with Statlander, Jamie Hayter, and randomly Tekla.
No, that wasn't random because I don't know if it was Dynamite or Collision. Previously, the Triangle took out, Tekla mostly took out Toni Storm in one of those all-star 8 women tag matches. Let's just forget which show. They're the same. I'm just sorry. But Tekla did one of those things. Storytelling.
And she's also the only member of the Triangle that hasn't done a job because the Triangle hasn't won a match since they've been the Triangle. Maybe they got a strong win like early on, but mostly nothing since then.
You mean the AEW Women's Stronghold tag team championships now.
The strong wins, yeah, coming soon.
100% coming soon.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense why Tekla just nothing here in this match. She just happened to be standing outside with the rest of everybody else, and then Tony pointed at her. You know, not Megan. I don't want to go with Megan. No, not that.
And just quietly, Vet, I know I've praised Harley Cameron in recent times, but now no more. I'm done with her, man. I'm sick of this cat thing she's doing, acting like a cat. I don't even know why, but
She took off the
Whatever.
mask though.
She
Took off
still
the-
has, Jimmy, tranquilo, Jimmy. She still has a purpose. She needs the TV time. It's comedy. It's still funny. But for, again, the wrestling part, again, optically, her being the only one to, slay the beast that is called Megan Bayne, maybe optically it doesn't look right. But again, optically is, the Jack and the Beanstalk and shit like that. You got to have the tiny woman to beat the big statuesque woman.
that's
It ain't gonna help,
AEW, brother. That's
It's AEW. It's AEW. You're right. It's AEW, brother. But it doesn't help Megan Bayne. Even though everybody wants to see Megan Bayne. She had that one match with Toni Storm a couple of months ago. She came up short. We never, again. And then after that, she was just beating up jobber after jobber after jobber. And now Harley Cameron is her program.
Really.
It's her program.
Right.
That's it. It's her program. But Megan Bayne, I think a lot of people, it's not about what we expect of him. I don't want to put the bar so high about that, guys. That's not what I'm saying. I don't think it's not like it's her time to be the AEW Women's Champion. But again, it's a great example of, I can see her against Mercedes. At least it maybe, optically, she's the one that could thwart the streak. But make it make sense. Give me something, Tony. Give me something.
Well, it's funny.
he'll
It's
give
funny
you
you say
something.
that. Yes, wait, sorry.
Yeah, that's what
It's
he's
funny.
gonna
It's
give
funny
us.
you say that, Professor, because I was just thinking something along those lines. Not only that, but like, why have they been testing the babyface waters with Megan Bayne, like giving her a heel hot tag?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they want to turn her for that. Who knows?
I hope you're right.
So we'll see. But I don't really care. But
Then
I'll tell
what-
you.
I
then
care.
I'm sorry, I don't want you need me to cut you off. Then what kind of stranglehold does Penelope Ford have on Megan Bayne?
Joey Janela.
They broke
It's
up.
the other way around.
They broke up.
But it's the uniting. It's the glue, right?
That's the glue.
That's kind of sticky, guys. I'm done.
Yeah,
It's,
Go ahead.
it's gross, is what it is.
it's
Yes.
gross.
It's super
man.
gross.
Go ahead. Next, please. Next.
Ace Austin gets a vignette here.
Where's he
Just to
disappeared
remind you that he is here, kind of. I mean, he
He
hasn't
is?
been here. He showed up and did one job, but here's a vignette just so you don't forget completely. Lexi is with the Bang Bang Gang, or what's left of them. It's really just Austin and Juice now, and they're like, they got to figure something out. So they ditch the cardboard. They throw Card Blade away. They throw Colton board away.
Colton, yeah.
And yeah, they're serious now. They're a serious tag team.
Like fully serious now?
One brother and one Juice. Yep. Speaking of Mercedes,
Is that injury really that bad on Jay White, guys?
Probably
haven't-
not.
I guess he injured something else rehabbing his first
Oh,
injury.
yeah, they did say that. That's true. They did actually allude to that.
Yeah, so Mercedes went ahead and recruited Emi Sakura, Riho's trainer, to take on Riho and Windsor.
Ugh.
So yes, that's right. You will get to see flabby Japanese Freddie Mercury female version back on television this Wednesday. Please look forward to that.
With the mustache too, probably?
Probably. At the very least, the Imperial Margarine crown will be back.
Oh, God.
And
hate
I
it.
can believe it's not butter. Shivani brings Don Callis, Kyle Fletcher, Josh Alexander out to the ring. Everybody gets to say a little something. Kyle challenges Hank Person. He says, what better way to prove I'm the best TNT champion of all time by beating the AEW World Champion? I saw where you were going with that, Kyle, and you still end up sounding like an idiot. But
I hate his gimmick,
Oh,
what
well.
he's doing now, dude.
um,
He's just an idiot, like literally, like just dumb idiot. That's his
Just
gimmick, I guess.
let Don Callis speak for him, and then just let him smirk. have that, with the glasses, just wink. Right.
Has he
Just
been
keep it
kicked
simple.
one too many times in the head suddenly? Is that what's happened? Like, how
Could
did
be.
this happen? It just happened. You know what I mean?
He's got a natural presence. We can't fault that. I'm not saying fault that, but we cannot deny that. I like the look. I like what he does in the ring. He's a little bit sloppy here and there.
He's
but
pretty decent though.
you're right with the promos and stuff. Like, again, it just that's why you got a mouthpiece. Let Don Callis be the mouthpiece, and then the less you speak, guys, he's more money if he speaks less. He doesn't have to say much. He doesn't have to carry anything. Sometimes, the simplest things can make a future match mean more. All he has to do is just nod his head and agree with everything Don Callis is saying, because, again, Don Callis is the ultimate troll, amping up his guys, which he's supposed to do. He's got the greatest Japanese wrestler in Okada, and then when Takeshita's there, I got the 2 greatest Japanese superstars ever. Trying to, fan the flames and shit like that. But, again, they don't want to do it that way.
You're right. That ain't
Although, I will say this. Don Callis is getting working heat. But when Kyle Fletcher talks, that's more shoot heat because of his voice. So it works. Like, it piles on, in that sense.
That puberty voice doesn't get over with me. I'm sorry.
It's not supposed to. So if you can get the professor, you got real heat. So that's what I'm saying.
It is.
We're too into this. You know what I mean? Like, we can't. So when one of us gets mad, it must be working. Like, if you get us riled up. So that must mean the FTR is the greatest tag team of all time, because I'm definitely gonna have a heart attack.
They got you. They got you.
But not as now. Here's where I might get a heart attack, because, guys, I don't know if my heart can take it when the clone is activated.
Oh God!
When we get evil hologram or whatever he'll be called, obviously something clever, much more clever than evil hologram.
I heard El Clone.
Yeah, El Clone. It's got to be better than that too. Maybe Emi Sakura can lend him a mustache to put on his mask.
Do you remember that clone they did of the sheep years ago?
Yeah. All right.
The name of the sheep.
Yeah, so clone activated. We get another short vignette, and then we go to Lexi with the conglomeration. And who cares about any of the angle they're doing with Roderick Strong? The only good part of this was Kyle O'Reilly saying, "Can you believe it? We're cloning luchadors." So I guess he liked the vignette too. Yeah, Lexi is with Anthony Bowens, and they couldn't get one old blonde to show up and try to talk sense to him, so they got Jerry Lynn again. And he says, "You need to look in the mirror to find out what's missing." And I was thinking, you better look in the mirror to see that spot on your hair that you missed or that the barber missed, because, again, you got this little tuft in the back, and, with all the time you spent lining up the front, you just missed a spot in the back. So just make sure that you go out there and, keep it tight, Anthony.
Keep it tight, Anthony.
So,
but we're getting the same angle here. I mean, Daniel Garcia did it in the beginning. Anthony Bowens has been doing it for a couple of weeks, and then he's off TV, but literally doing the same thing. And now you need another veteran trying to get some sense into the young kid. Two of the same.
Young 33-year-old kid.
Yeah.
True. I mean,
well, looks like there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event.
wow.
And it is Takeshita versus Briscoe. The Clash of Titans.
The AEW strong win, defending
championship.
That's right. Can that strong win over Lance Archer carry him through with momentum? Will his momentum take him through the seemingly unstoppable Konosuke Takeshita here? And the answer is maybe, but we'll never know, because that dirty, rotten son of a bitch, MJF, who should have been on his honeymoon, but he's not, came in, shoved Mark Briscoe off the top rope. Takeshita hits Raging Fire on Mark Briscoe. Ain't no way he kicking out of that. I don't care how many kids he has. And then, after that, here comes MJF to do the Raja Jackson on him. I'll give this a 10 out of 10 Rajas, because this was exactly what we saw in that videotape. Takeshi's not happy about this. He didn't know that MJF shoved him. He wanted to win this clean, so much so to the point that he sent Josh Alexander to the back, like, don't be out here helping me. I can beat this chicken farmer on my own. So yeah, he's upset, but not that upset. Like, he's still just going to leave. Security's going to come out, and Max is getting dragged off, and he gets a microphone, and he's like, hey, you son of a bitch or whatever, just you piece of shit, you hillbilly piece of shit. You name the time and the place, and we're going to finish this. So Mark Briscoe says, yeah, the place is going to be all out, but I'm going to have to, figure out a stipulation. But one thing's for sure, you just signed your own death warrant.
More threats of murder, it seems.
And that death warrant will be a small package.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately for Mark,
small package only match. Like, no other pinfalls will be counted. The only legal pin is an inside cradle / small package.
Oh my God.
Gotta be.
That thought has never crossed my mind. The fact that you just said that. Oh, can you imagine that?
Oh, you know what would be better? I got a better idea. Okay.
Oh God. What?
Small package on a pole. So what you do, you have the pole.
Small package? Like,
yeah, you put a small, cube size package, like maybe 3 inches by 4 inches, whatever, like 3 by 3.
My imagination went way left on that small package on a pole match.
No.
I'm thinking about mini me.
It's literally,
okay.
It's got the bow on it. It's a box with a bow on it. Once you pull it down, then you can legally execute the small package. But only you.
Wow.
Right? You have to be in possession of the package to execute the small package. If you try to do a small package on the guy before you pull down the package from the pole, the referee won't count it. He'll just be like, sorry, I can't. You didn't get the package down. So
you know what? I'm going to give that 10 Rajas for the only reason that I thought I've heard it all in pro wrestling until now. I've never heard that one before. So 10 Rajas for that one, actually, Vet. I like it. Let's do it. You hear that, Tony? Do it.
It's money.
It's money. Absolutely.
Oh, Frank asked a question. He says, sorry to bother you at work. Do you think we get to using tongs as weapons or a whisk? I'm sure I know tongs have been used.
Absolutely. It's been a
while, they've done the spot where they grab the guy by the balls with tongs.
So dumb.
A whisk? I mean, I guess. Probably in I don't know. You can't tell me in all those matches in the ECW arena where the fans were allowed to bring stuff to give to the wrestlers during those matches that nobody brought a whisk in all those years. Yeah, somebody had to. Now, I don't know if it got used or whatever.
I think New Jack did.
Yeah, I mean, sure, New Jack could have come out in a shopping cart or a trash can at some point, all kind of kitchen utensils.
That's actually a funny thing. Was this the last day of the residency of the ECW?
Yeah, it was.
Out of all these weeks, how much to the level? Supposedly Tony Khan is this ECW mark. He had a Taz T-shirt when he was 13 years old, and not one goddamn match. No rest. I mean, even Adam Priest of all people could have rectified this by having a shopping cart full of items like a whisk, a kitchen sink, and all that stuff, like a New Jack shopping cart for his blood feud with FTR, my favorite tag team, and that could have been a match for the ages. We didn't have that. What a waste.
Look at the way the ECW arena looked. It was too flashy for that, man.
I get it. It is, but I'm just saying. I mean, if you're going to do a residency in the 2300 arena, at least do that. Honor that kind of legacy for that.
They did release all Extreme Wrestling shirts. Did you notice that? A lot of the fans were wearing them. It says AEW with the barbed wire, like the ECW logo.
Yeah, it's for the sickos. But I ain't gonna buy that. That's degrading. I got my ECW.
That is degrading, dude. That is insulting, actually. But anyway,
if you buy that and you had an ECW shirt, get your ECW card out. I'm kicking you off.
Yeah, 100%. Anyway, Vet, were we still talking about the main event?
No, it's over.
Oh, so we're done.
Yeah.
Are you telling me 3 of us on a show done it quicker than ever? I mean, that's crazy. And we're all talking, which is weird.
I imagine I was speeding through it the best of my ability, but even so, there really wasn't a lot to say because a lot of this was just like, hey, so-and-so did a promo backstage. What are we going to say? Were we going to recount the promo?
No, that's true.
We're going to give them a grade, you know, like what it doesn't, if you cared, you would have watched, you know, and if you did watch, you wouldn't want us to say it again. So, that's how I look at it. It really was, like you said at the top, Jimmy, you said like this week wasn't shit, and it wasn't. Like, it really wasn't. This was just a bunch of wasted time. Even though stuff happened, but like, I mean, we didn't need any of it. If we just show up one day and some matches happen, that's just as good because the builds don't matter. Like Professor was saying earlier, it doesn't really matter. The build don't matter. There are builds, there are stories. They're not good. And then when there's no build, people say there's no build. And then they forget that the last build they got wasn't good and they didn't like it and they complain about that. So you're damned if you do, you damned if you don't. I say go with the don't and save us all some time.
Yeah, that's well said. Absolutely agree with that.
I mean, did the Yankees and Red Sox build to their 5,729th meeting?
True.
Yes, with the 5,728 other ones, but other than that, it's just another baseball game. So we know we're going to have matches on Wednesdays and Saturdays. There you go.
That story sells itself, the Yankees and the Red Sox. But you know,
That's right.
I was going to say that too, Tenny.
But Mark Briscoe and Takeshita, you gotta do more. That's all it is. You just gotta do more. And then
what we did was we showed what really happened. You gave us a taste. And I, you know, like I'm being a little bit facetious, but like if I talk myself into it, they could have done way worse because what they ended up doing was they gave you a somewhat of a marquee matchup. At least it wasn't an 8-man because they end the collision at the 8 and 6-man's way too much, as Jimmy will soon tell you. So you actually had a singles match with something on the line because if Mark doesn't win, he doesn't get what he wants, which is a title shot from Don Callis. So now here you have this match with something on the line, 2 guys with a name. You don't know who's going to win only because Mark Briscoe got that strong win on Wednesday. So that's why we have no idea who could possibly win this. It's a 50-50 chance. And where they're really going is MJF and Mark Briscoe because that's unfinished business. Mark Briscoe is partially responsible, if not wholly responsible, for MJF not beating Hang Person. So now MJF is like, well, you're not going to get what you want either. This isn't done. We're going to settle it. We're going to do it at the pay-per-view. There's going to be a million other matches on the pay-per-view and this is going to get buried on it. But that doesn't matter right now. We're not thinking about that. We're only thinking about, at least we could say this is what these guys are doing. So in a way it made sense. They didn't give us a finish on Briscoe and Takeshita, like, you know, a fair finish. So that could be revisited someday, even though we already know how that's going to go if they ever do revisit it. So was it good? Could have been worse. Yes. What will we do instead? Hell, I don't know. Cause I don't care about any of it. So it's not my job. I'm not getting paid to think of it.
That's for the sickos to go on Twitter and then do these clips of all the Easter eggs that you might've missed. So this way it gets you amped up for a future match. And
they justify it too, which drives me nuts. That's what drives me crazy, man.
But at the end of the day, you know, just because you justify it doesn't make it enjoyable.
Right.
I mean, you could perfectly plot out something boring. I mean, it doesn't matter. So
I just don't get it, man.
Creative is subjective, pal. Ha ha.
Well, I guess exactly. I guess it is. Well,
and Tony ruins MJF still having the contract that he can cash in at any time because he has to cash in a week prior. So, you know, he does that. He messes up. Yeah, that
he still does have it 100%. I know we said it at the pay-per-view, but like
he has the contract, but he must cash in and give a week's notice. What defeats the purpose?
A week's notice.
At least a week's notice.
Yes.
What?
He could give well, he can't give a year's notice because they're going to have another Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal or whatever. But however much is left until that next one, he can give that much notice if he wants.
It's so dumb. Anyway, whatever. Like, it is what it is. You got to give notice now. I like it. What's the point of this thing? What advantage does it give you?
The other thing, there's a lot of things about it that doesn't make sense. Like, for example, the fact that Athena didn't cash it in like a Money in the Bank. She cashed it in the way Tony Khan wanted her to, apparently.
Yeah, but
so like what? So you know, that just makes everybody look dumb.
Yeah, but is this thing designed to use as the Money in the Bank? For example, I always thought that's the case, right?
Initially, but then, you know, with what MJF did to Mark Briscoe, almost committing murder to him, stuff like that, Tony Khan said, no, you can't do that. You can't just augment the what you just did with the cash in.
So they just changed the rules on the fly, basically.
He basically buffaloed that press conference into saying that it was for the integrity of the championship. But it's like, well, what about literally every other thing on your show? Are you going to stop all that too? You know, MJF, you know,
Wow.
MJF ain't the first person. Not only he just threatened Darby Allin, set Jungle Boy on fire. Like, where's, you know, but let's not, I guess the AEW championship integrity wasn't anywhere near that. So it didn't matter. Right. Whatever. Anyways, we're done. We sifted. Done. Take your gloves off, boys. It's time to go home.
Whew,
it's home time. Sweet. That's cool. Well, in saying that, boys, I'll start with you, Prof, since you are the guest. Tell them what you're up to and what are you doing, man, and where they can find you.
I just want to thank Vet and you, Jimmy, for allowing me to bless me onto the Wreckage. And you can see the link, Wreckage's, on the bottom. That's my YouTube channel where I do the pro wrestling reflection. So, you know, subscribe there and see all the nostalgic content. We just did an episode. We did a chronological celebration of the TNA Knockouts Championship with myself and the Tommy Wonder. So check it out right there. And then, you know, I might do a movies episode next week. I found a gem for Vet. You know, these classic wrestling movies, I did not know they existed, but I thought of one for the Vet, and we're gonna have that next week.
What is it? Oh no, you can't. You won't tell me, damn it. Now I'm looking forward to it because how many wrestling damn movies are there? God damn.
There's a lot more than we even realized.
Wow, a lot of them have got to be absolute
click that
trash.
link and subscribe, Wreckagites, and enjoy the nostalgia on the Wrestling Reflection.
Nice. Vet, what are you doing? You jump on the Twitch right now, actually?
Yeah, probably. At Opinion Haver, and then that's all the social media platforms if you want to follow me. Any of those social media platforms. Thank you very much, Professor, for jumping on today. I was, you know, in a bad mood to start, but it had nothing to do with you. Had everything to do with the rest of the world and AEW. So, you know, you're always welcome here anytime you can make it. Appreciate it. So you can also find me and Professor. He's invited. And if I'm doing a show, he's invited. So just, you know, keep your inbox open, or I'll keep mine open. For things like the Impact Attack every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern with Brandon, where we talk about TNA and all the goings on there, which ties directly into the Next Level Wrestling Review with Big Ray Hernandez every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Although this week it'll be Jimmy, I believe you will be stepping into the chair to cover for Big Ray. So we'll do that. We'll have we'll do a little, you know, what do you call it? NXT wreckage here. Because it's definitely going to be a wreck. It's just a different kind of wreck. Yeah, you could definitely check that out. Check out Wrestling at Rip Rogers every Friday. Ask Rip a question. There wasn't an episode this week, but they'll be back at their normal time, I believe. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. Check out Stevie Richards' show every Friday. New episodes. This was a fan question episode this week. Stevie Richards and James killing it over there. Check out Timmy Baltimore, Limpin' Ain't Easy. Great episode with Shelly Martinez. Nice episode with Shelly. Shelly's awesome, telling some stories, you know, talking about all kinds of her journey through the wrestling business and how she sort of came out on the other side. Even with all that stuff, she's in a great place now. So check that out. And that's just about it for me. What do you got, Jimmy?
Well, as far as I go, look out for I Like a Raw, your Raw review show every Tuesday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern, with myself and Big Ray Hernandez. I'm assuming he's joining me, right, Vet? Or I don't even know. I'm
Who
assuming
knows?
he's joining me.
Tune in and find out.
Yeah, tune in and find out.
9 days from tonight.
9 days from tonight. Also, the Smack Attack will be on at 4 p.m., I believe, today for everything Smack It Down. And, the Wreckage every Sunday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern. So, look out for that Wreckage at the usual time slot right here on Happy Media Group's YouTube channel. And in saying that, it's a wrap. I am your host, Jimmy T. He is my co-host, the best in the world, Jamie the Vet Williams. And, of course, that is the magnanimous, the glorious Professor Chabela Vera Cruz. And you've been listening and watching the
Wreckage.
live right here on Happy Media Group's YouTube channel. And, of course, channelattitude.com after the fact. Till next time, we're out. Peace.
Strong win.